What's the hardest part about being level 2 autistic? Not struggling with shutdowns and meltdowns or even social interactions or struggling with people and relationships and things like that. The hardest part is having goals for yourself and having things that you want to do, and your brain and your body not being able to handle that. I think for the past year, I have spent a lot of time not accepting my autism and my limitations and thinking that I could find a way around it or a way that worked for me to reach goals that everybody around my age has. Thinking that there was just a way that I was going to figure out. Maybe it would be different than everybody else, but I thought that I just had to figure out a different way, or I was just missing something to get myself there. A couple weeks ago, I had to make one of the hardest decisions I've had to make in a long time. I'm not going back to college for nursing right now. And I want to talk about this because I think that it will help a lot of autistic people with moderate to high support needs. I already knew I was autistic. I understand the diagnosis, understand that my life is not going to be the same. I understand I have support needs and things like that, and I accepted it conceptually, but I didn't accept the reality of how much my life will be affected and really the gravity of the effect of being level 2 autistic and having moderate support needs. I grew up with a lot of high expectations, and that kind of got instilled in me. I was always called smart. I did well in school growing up, and because of that, there was a lot of pressure and a lot of expectations about what I would do when I grew up, how my life would go, and I started giving myself that pressure on top of it because it just got instilled in me from a young age. My family and people around me saw my potential and what I could become, but they didn't really see how much I was struggling, and I didn't realize how much I was struggling until I started getting older. It's like I knew, but I didn't really know the full scope of it. Being late diagnosed, especially, your true support needs come out once you reach an age where the demands of your life and the demands of whatever age you are exceed your capacity, and that's where things really start to really fall apart. Even after getting officially professionally diagnosed last year and having a big burnout and losing a lot of skills and progress that I have made, I still felt like I would figure out how to have a more traditional career, and I thought nursing was going to be that for me. I thought I'd be able to have like financial stability, and I started picturing this future for myself. So losing that is really hard because this picture of the next few months, the next few years, and my future and where I thought I was going is gone. And even that kind of change is hard. even though like it's not like I was already there and doing it. It's still a change of thinking about my future and where I thought I was going. So it wasn't just like losing a career path, it was more like losing what I thought I was going to be, because nursing had been something that I've been thinking about from a younger age. When I first graduated, I went to school for something online, for something else. Um, but I thought that I would be able to make it work because the school I was going to is not a lot of hours. Um, and nursing is somewhat flexible in that it's not a typical 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. I realized that I wasn't planning around my actual capacity and what would keep me from burning out and overexerting myself and getting myself back to the place I was in last year. That's not a place that I want to go back to. Even with my limitations and my autism, basically what I'm trying to say is I thought that nursing was going to work for me, but once I got back into working, because I had been out for almost a year, I started working again part-time, um, and seeing how my energy is and how it shakes out with me being back in work part-time. I know going back to school right now is not something that I could do without burning myself out and really putting myself in a bad situation. So I had to make that choice about what I'm going to put first. With me going back to work, it's like I gotta go to bed, I gotta get up on time, get enough sleep. I need a lot of sleep. Being an autistic person, I cannot function off 8 hours of sleep. I need like 9, 10, 11 hours of sleep. Get up, get dressed, drive to work, be at work, do my job properly, talk to my coworkers, deal with the sensory environment, the heat, everything, all of that, make it through the whole shift, clock out, drive again, come home. Back home, there's dishes I have to eat. I have laundry I need to do. I need clean clothes to go to work. I have to take care of my hygiene. There is just so much. I gotta get groceries. All of these things. It's extremely taxing on an autistic person, especially if you're moderate support needs and you don't have a moderate level of support. I live alone. I don't get support from my family in the way that I should have had since growing up. I don't have that. I don't have anybody taking care of me. I'm not living alone by choice. This isn't what I would sign up for as a moderate level support needs autistic person. This is not a situation a moderate level support needs autistic person should be in, but it is what it is. This is where I am. And it's hard to do that and work part-time. So that's just my reality at the moment. So people thinking that I should be able to do more than work part-time and stuff. They see me working part-time. They don't see all of that stuff that takes so much out of me. And they don't see what the cost is when I'm overexerting myself, because I have worked full-time before. I have done it for a period of time before I stopped being able to eat, stopped being able to drive, Stop being able to talk, take care of myself, shower, go to work. Everything just stopped. Not like I quit my job or nothing. Literally, everything just stops. Turns off. I was in an apartment with full market rent, working full time, and I had a roommate, and I stopped being able to go to work, eat, drive, shower, barely could talk. People who put these expectations on autistic people and disabled people in general, they don't see the cost of the things that we are doing and what happens when we go beyond what we have the spoons for and the capacity for. People don't see that. In therapy, I've talked a lot about other people's expectations and how other people feel about what I'm doing, and it's something that we have to keep coming back to because it gets so ingrained, especially if you have like family members that don't get it and stuff like that. So it's a constant conversation of breaking down, like, I am thinking about what other people are thinking about what I'm doing, and I'm thinking about other people's expectations of me. So that leads me to thinking, come up with a new plan. Maybe this way it'll work. Maybe this way I can meet my family's arbitrary expectations of what I should be doing at 20 years old. You get the boost of motivation. Maybe this time it'll work out. Maybe this time I can find a way to be able to have this career and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that you can't have a career if you're level 2 autistic, but this is where I am right now, and I know this is where a lot of people that's moderate support needs are. It happens. It is what it is. But I can't ignore my needs and my capabilities anymore, because I will end up back in that same place. And it's like before I had that really big burnout, I would just push and push and push. Didn't see the signs, didn't notice the signs, wasn't paying attention to the signs. And honestly, like, being autistic, I don't pick up on all the signs. Thank God I have a therapist that is checking in with where my energy is and where I'm at with my capacity every week, because I need that. Like, that's really another thing that people don't understand. Like, it's hard as an autistic person to pick up on stuff from other people, but you also don't pick up on things from yourself. Like, some autistic people don't have good bladder control because they're not picking up the signals from their body that they need to go to the bathroom. So even though I'm showing signs of burning out, or I'm showing signs of whatever it may be, I'm not picking up on it. I didn't realize, like, I was pushing burnout recently and getting to my capacity until my therapist was asking me questions about it, and she checks in with me about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, like, I'm pushing it. And then I'm like, oh, I see it. Yeah, I'm pushing my limit. I'm at a 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, and 10 is like, everything is done. I'm over my capacity. I'm trying to gather this up together. I know I'm kind of getting all over the place, but acceptance is not about giving up. This video may sound like pessimistic or like I'm giving up on everything. I'm not. I'm giving up on living my life for other people. I'm giving up on living my life to arbitrary standards. I'm giving up on that. It is not being lazy. It is not giving up on life. It is not any of those things. It is living within your capacity and doing the best that you can for yourself and not for anyone else. You can't live your life to the standards of your parents, your peers, or anybody, especially if you are autistic. That's what acceptance means to me. Not just understanding the diagnosis, the words, the definition, what it means, but understanding the effect that it has on your life and taking that into consideration and being considerate to yourself as an autistic person. And there is drawbacks to that, like accepting your autism and your limitations. You also have to grieve the fact that you might see peers graduating college, getting married, having kids, and you might not be reaching those things at the same time as other people. And that can bring up a lot of emotions, but that's true acceptance to me. Accepting how your diagnosis will literally affect your life and not just understanding the words and the definition of autism. Understanding the reality, the day to day, the effect on your future and your present, everything, and what that means for other people around you. I have to deal with how my family is going to feel about me not going to school. I have to deal with how my family will feel about me not really doing anything because I'm working part-time and I'm not going to school and I'm not doing anything. But we all know working part-time and living by yourself and trying to take care of all these things on your own is not doing anything. It is very much so doing something. As an autistic person, it is doing a lot. And if you're doing anything to take care of yourself and you are still here as an autistic person, you are doing great and you should be proud of yourself. Honestly, it is so hard. People will not understand the same way that another level 2 autistic person will. And like the levels are whatever. But somebody that needs more support than like the typical high functioning level 1 autistic person, because even level 1 autistic people can have a hard time understanding what a level 2 person is really going through, because it's a different experience than what a level 1 person goes through. I don't even want to try to describe what level 1 person goes through because I'm not level 1, and I don't want to explain that a wrong way because that's not my experience. I want to end this video by giving some journaling prompts to help with accepting autism and processing some of this stuff that we deal with as autistic people. I have those written down. The first prompt is, what expectations am I still holding myself to that don't actually match my capability? Prompt number 2, am I building my life around my average day or my best day? Prompt number 3 is, what support would make my life easier if I stop feeling ashamed of needing it? Pause and think about these. You don't have to write it down and do anything fancy. Think about them. Take a moment. I hope this video helped in some way. Thank you for watching.